Guys, we got one of the best news that shareholders could ever want. Massive royalties are on the line. They're coming. They're coming very, very soon. And this is, of course, the Battery Swap Alliance, the first car in the Battery Swap Alliance that's non-NIO. So a non-NIO car produced by some other brand that can do battery swaps at NIO swap stations is going to be coming earlier than anyone has expected. And just to make it clear what we're talking about, back in November of 2023, last year, they signed on Chang'an and Geely. So those two big car companies have pledged that they will produce cars that will basically be able to do battery swaps at NIO swap stations, and they will also be co-developing swap stations, building swap stations as well. And then in January, of course, we had JAC and Chery also join in on this whole entire deal and joining in the Battery Swap Alliance, so to speak. And also in January, we had a bunch of energy companies also pledging to build a ton of swap stations for energy grid stabilization. In February of this year, we had this China Southern Power Grid also sign on, and they were also going to use lots of swap stations, build out lots of swap stations for grid stabilization. In April, we had the massive partner Lotus, which is going to help NIO gain global recognition. And that's another huge powerhouse and international brand signing on to join the Battery Swap Alliance. They will also produce Lotus vehicles that can battery swap at NIO swap stations. And of course, in May, we also had GAC. And keep in mind, these are all Battery Swap Alliance, okay? It is also rumored that Xiaomi is going to join, and Jidu's CEO has also said that they're going to join in on the Battery Swap Alliance as well, because battery swap is the #1 biggest selling point. And what this all means, massive, massive royalties. And you guys got to keep this in mind. So back a couple months ago, when Xiaomi CEO was sitting down with NIO CEO and they were talking about more potential collaborations and partnerships like that, Xiaomi wanted to sort of standardize the infotainment in the car, right? Because Xiaomi is really good at that. They got like lots of accessories, tablets, phones, etc. And of course, NIO CEO said that they wanted Xiaomi and these other companies to join in on the battery swap game, and that for every car, it's not going to cost them a whole lot of extra money. And of course, it does cost them money. All right, that's the big point. It does cost them money. When they start producing these cars that can do battery swap, they're going to be earning so much in royalties. First of all, they're buying the battery pack from NIO. All right, they're buying the battery pack from NIO. That's royalty #1. They're paying NIO for the battery pack. #2, they have to use NIO's design. All right, NIO's like skateboard design. And NIO CEO said to Xiaomi CEO that it's only going to cost them a couple 100 million RMB. So down the line, a couple 100 million, if you divide that onto every single vehicle, it's only like maybe a 10,000 RMB-ish extra, all right, just to have battery swap on the car, which is roughly around maybe $1,500 extra. So it's not a whole lot if you just divide the cost for every single vehicle. But of course, they're also going to be paying NIO whenever they do a battery swap, right? So NIO also gets revenue from that as well. So you're going to see battery swap just absolutely take over. And during the Beijing Auto Show back a few months ago, and I was there, I talked to Dr. Shen Fei, the head of NIO Power, and I asked him a few questions about these royalties, these partnerships. And he said that, it does take time because they got to design everything from the ground up. And then they also have to do testings and more like refinements, and also get it certified. And then after that, they have to get it, they got to adjust the factory line for production. So that's a long, lengthy process to get that car on the road, but it's coming earlier than expected. Which brand? Okay, most likely Chang'an. All right, most likely Chang'an, which is just one of those traditional automaker brands. And Chang'an, they've signed in November of last year. It's already been like 10 months, right? 10 plus months. So they had plenty of time to get everything ready. And very soon, you're going to see these cars on the road that can also do battery swap. And that just means that battery swap is going to take over. They're going to earn a ton of royalties. And also, talking to Iran, which is he was head of NIO marketing a few years ago. And he said that when he was at the Beijing Auto Show, he talked to Dr. Shenfei. And Dr. Shenfei said that his number one priority was to get those cars that are non-NIO branded that can also do battery swaps and get those cars on the road ASAP. And it seems that he's doing a fantastic job of letting that happen. And what this all means is another huge win for battery swap. And it means for shareholders that regardless, down the line, regardless of if people buy a NIO or someone else's car, NIO is going to be earning money from that, right? And in the future, this just also means it validates swap even more. People are going to be more inclined to choose between, do I buy EV that can do swap or do I buy just a normal EV? And with everybody joining in on swaps and more car models from other brands that can also do battery swaps at NIO swap stations, this just adds to the favorability of battery swap. And at the end of the day, you know, NIO earns more money. And there's going to be even more swap stations because of this. And there's going to be even more royalties because of this. And it just means more profit, guys. And it's definitely much more profitable than selling cars directly because you still have to produce the cars. Whereas with this, you're just, you know, they're selling the cars and you're getting paid up straight cash, right? You're getting paid straight cash and royalties. And I understand you guys might say, oh, you know, this is NIO's moat, you know, you're giving it away. I don't actually agree with that. You know, people will still be inclined to buy NIO product just for what it is. People will still buy Envo product for what it is. But some people might just want to buy the other product for what that has to offer. And that car, if it also has battery swap, of course, that's a huge plus. And of course, NIO also gets paid. So win-win-win situation for everybody. All right. And very soon, I mean, like, you got all these companies joining on the battery swap alliance. They're not just joining for fun. All right. It's going to come out to something. All right. They're going to have car models that can do battery swap. And depending on how it sells, if it sells really well, of course, they're going to have even more car models that can do battery swap. That's going to help them sell well. It's going to help NIO gain more royalties. So NIO is becoming this huge behemoth with a bunch of royalties coming in from everywhere. They got the most number of patents. All right, they got the most number of patents compared to any other EV company here in China. Number one in terms of patents. Number one in terms of infrastructure as well. All right, charging and swapping more than Tesla. Almost 3 times more than Tesla when you add charging and swap stations combined together versus Tesla's infrastructure, almost 3 times more. So down the line, this is very exciting news, and I can't wait to see what that car is like. And of course, will it also cause like some frustration with NIO owners because we have to also perhaps line up with those cars for battery swap? No. I mean, some people will feel like that, but for me in general, as a NIO owner, I don't feel like that. I feel like that's just going to help convince NIO and these other companies to build more swap stations. It's going to be even more convenient. So you're going to have swaps everywhere, right? And swapping is going to win at the end of the day. So this is definitely great news, coming earlier than expected. How early? Very, very soon. Very, very soon. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.